there, guys, and welcome back. Today on Tips and Tricks for Bulwark, today on Tips and Tricks for Shock Troopers, we have the Bulwark, a mighty master class in both firepower, range, and ally support, having two abilities to support that. You already know that if you're a Vanguard player, of course. If you're not, which I rarely do see, yeah. Banner gives morale, and your G ability requires your shield, but in Bulwark's case, his gun. You bash it, and gives anybody behind you that's not using an automatic weapon, i.e., the Adjudicator, uh, the Whispered's alternate action, the Hellion, and I don't know if it affects the breach rifle, so that'll have to be some stuff. I don't believe it affects any of the pistols because none of them are bolt action. And it doesn't affect the the alternate Hellion, the pistol. I don't know if it affects the Adjudicator, and yeah. So you bash it, give everybody behind you a black hand buff, basically. And yeah. So for this first tip for Bulwark, a lot of people think, hey, this guy is not supposed to be moving around or being on the front lines. And they would be correct, my good sir. Because when you're shooting, I'm going to start trying to strafe side to side. You cannot move, which is a problem for many reasons. In a game all about, it's not really based around movement, but having maneuverability does help. Not being able to move kinda sucks. Anyway, to remedy this, well, actually, no. Well, I mean, kind of. To remedy this, he has the Grace Service Revolver, so less spread, yada yada. It's a Grace. It is just a Grace, but Grace is pretty good for a gun. But moving on from that, his primary, as you saw when shooting it, you cannot move, but you get two things in return. First of all, the overall damage is way better. Fire rate is on par with the Stormtrooper's submachine gun, and you got a little faceplate. It works. For some ungodly reason, it blocks AT shots. Fun fact. Anyway, also, as you saw, long time to aim, and bad recoil, very bad recoil, along with this, oh, let me just show you. Very bad recoil, but very wide spread, which, well, very short spread. It could have definitely been wider, which would have definitely hindered him and made him more, how should I put this, slower, and more around the style of, I'm going to sit here and you better come at me and not dig through the walls, which, in a game about digging your way through walls, it doesn't work very well. But, besides that, his gun also has a bipod, which, if you are able to mount it, gives reduced recoil, better accuracy, and, well, pinpoint accuracy, actually. But something a little bit annoying about the gun and bipod, sometimes it doesn't work. As you saw there, it would holster on your side and then do that. Sometimes it doesn't do that, sometimes it works as intended, and sometimes you need to just like wiggle, because it should be pipodding, it doesn't, and now, well, yeah. So, First of all, use your gun to your advantage. You have a faceplate to protect your face, and I believe if you're, no, I don't believe if that works if you're synergized, but your helmet will reduce the penetration, which is not really needed because this should be soaking up all the damage. So, second tip, get in a wide open spot. This map, this place works perfectly. You also want to get up high. You are very stationary, very slow, but you are extremely powerful. Ah, yes, here's the glitch in effect, where it does that. So you'll waste the first few shots hitting your barrier or ground, while the rest will go downrange. But beyond that, as you see now, you have the barrier. Works similarly to the Vanguard's shield, except it's the place down version only. So you have to place it down in order to, yeah. But in return, also blocks every incoming shot from the waist lower. So this guy is really, really well protected. You would have to aim for the arms, and then again, that's hard to do, especially if he's firing at you, which will be often, because I only ever see Bull in Last Stand and, yeah, Last Stand and, yeah, Last Stand and the, final thing when it doesn't reach treaty. I forgot its name. Oh well. Anyways, so second pro tip, get up high, get in an open space, and rain fiery hell upon all those below. And should anyone dare try and sneak up upon you or come in from the back and sides, you gun them down with your grace. That, or if you're really unprotected or didn't notice, you can just use your gun. Extremely inaccurate, extreme recoil, but sprays like hell. You won't be missing, especially if it's down a tunnel like this one. And if they're especially close. But beyond that, you are slow. You need open areas. Your gun deals a lot of damage. You need to mount your gun. But how should I mount it? But you already said, keep it on high. Leave it down. Well, sometimes that doesn't always work. Especially like this. Let's say I'm gunning down over here, but some enemies run up behind here. They're digging up to me. I can't aim at them from here, or maybe even here. Well, I mean, kind of here. Actually, yeah, no, here. Oh, wow. Bipod range extends far. Anyways. Well, again, you have a grace. But you can also just do the one thing bulwarks have a tendency not to do. Stop firing and move. You have a pickaxe. Utilize it. Anyways, you can always pick up this barrier, and like Vanguard shield, it will act like a barrier if it's on your back. So it'll block bullets even then. And should you be synergized, you get a reload buff. That's all that there really is notable about it. So, you don't want to move off. You don't really want to move often, but you kind of have to. Otherwise, enemies get used to your, where you are, and then all of a sudden you have 15 Lancers on you. So, relocate often, but keep it down. But, another use for, Bulwark, he's really useful against Dreadnought. So use him against Dreadnought. All I see is AT does so much damage. Well, guess what? This guy's able to deal equal the amount of damage of 2 AT shots in like a quarter of a mag. Yeah. He's powerful. But requires you to stand still. That's why everybody's deterred by him. They are scared of standing still, since the whole gimmick of the game is to move. You're supposed to move. Moving is everything. You mine to move, you need to get to different places, so you move there. Mining, moving, yeah. That's the whole point of the game. So when you're hit with a gimmick like this, where it forces you, oh hey, stand still, a lot of people are deterred by that. They don't care about the firepower, they don't care about whether or not he's good for dread. They only care if he can move. And why people mostly choose AT. He has a lot more maneuverability. And then again, he also has a one-shot weapon. A one-shot. Who doesn't want a one-shot weapon? While this is more than one shot, doesn't deal as much damage in the first initial shots, which will count, by the way. So you need to catch the enemies off guard by being a bulwark. So how do you do that when you're slow, cumbersome, and your gun is extremely inaccurate when not properly done? Well, instead of moving around the game, move around bulwark. Be the bulwark. Stand still. Get used to it. Be aware of your surroundings. That's another tip. Be aware of your surroundings, because I had this really silly moment where I was gunning down the entire enemy team, then this Jaeger walked into my field of view with a etiquette, and I just did that slow turn. It was very comical. We had a good laugh. Laffy taffy. Anyways. But you are extreme. So remember this. You are slow, but extremely powerful. Any open spot is a death sentence. So ask your team, could you parking lot? Because that is a really effective method to do bowl. But beyond that, that is all my tips and tricks for today. I mean, there's also the fact that you have a grace. Of course, only 6 shots, but then again, you have vet. Remember the grace. The grace. You have a pistol. Oh yeah, that's right. Spy has a gun. Sorry, I just had to quote it. Anyways, I'm also, at the end of the videos, now doing a fit rate of which skin for each side that I like better. I, personally, like the Nation side skin better. And, for Geist, I like them both equally. They're both really good skins. I mean, initially I liked the Nation one better because, well, I don't know. But then the Golden Empire one grew on me. But yeah. Also, you can pick up the rally banner. That's what some people forget. You can pick it up and put it back down elsewhere. So if you're going to stay and have your team with you, put it down. It helps your team. Well, I mean, it doesn't help you, so beware of that. Beyond that, that is it for all my tips and tricks today. Everybody, have a lovely day, and goodbye.